I recently heard a story about this guy who went to a new job and they were serving their probation. And before their probation time of 2 months was over, they had been fired. This is a very problematic situation if you have just changed jobs, you have just changed homes, you have done a lot of things, you have moved to a new location, and you no longer have a job. The gap in your employment is going to be questioned by the next employer. So, what are the things that you do whilst you are working for a new employer, whilst you are in probation, to be able to help you secure your financial future? So this is the first thing that you need to do. The first thing that you need to do is you need to stop doing any adverse lifestyle changes. Don't move to a new house. Don't move your kids to a big school. Don't take a loan for a big car. Don't take a new mortgage before you are over with your probation. In fact, don't do these lifestyle changes because a new employer sometimes comes with a bigger salary and better working conditions, and most of it through money and the benefits you accrue after employment. So whilst you have an increase in your income, do not change your lifestyle immediately. Don't change a lot of things. Don't enter into debt. Give yourself a whole year so that you're able to be stable enough to know, am I going to stay with this employer for long? Can I be able to commit to a long-term lease on a property? Can I be able to take a mortgage on a property? Can I move to this location? Can I acquire this car? Before you are able to do all these things, take a year so that you are more comfortable knowing whether you can be able to do it and support these things. The next thing that you need to do is, before you change employment, ensure that you have savings of at least 6 months. 6 months, why? Because the average professional who is in good standing, who is well qualified, who has the right papers, who has the right qualifications, who is relatively well off in terms of employability, will probably last 6 months before they get their next job. So before you change jobs, before you do so much things, when you change a job, ensure that you have 6 months of savings so that if this new employment is terminated whilst you are still in probation, then you can be able to survive for 6 months before you acquire a new job. Don't change jobs if you have zero savings. Why? You are in a precarious situation where the employer can easily get you off. In fact, you are one board meeting away from termination. And if you're working for funny organizations, then your boss can just wake up one day and feel like firing you, and they can fire you while you're in probation. So ensure you have 6 months of income that can be able to take care of yourself should the eventual bad case happen. Then the other thing that you need to do is you need to be able to align your expenses at this time. Ensure that you have fixed your expenses because a new employer comes with additional expenses. So during this time, ensure that you have catered for any increase in expenses, any reduction in expenses, and what were your previous expenses with the previous employer. How has these expenses changed? Because they either go up or go down. Ensure that you have gotten a certain rhythm of knowing how are your expenses and how are they moving. Are they moving up or down? Because if you are going to acquire new income, you might be forced by certain lifestyle urges to be able to increase certain lifestyle expenses. But don't feel the need to change. Only change when it is necessary. Only change when it is really important because you are in a precarious situation, remember. The other thing that you can be able to do before you change jobs, if you are coming from another job, you probably have some bargaining power because you are not unemployed. So you could argue with a new employer that either have terms that do exclude probation. Yes, there are people who do that. You change jobs and say that you do not want probation, especially people who are in higher levels of employment, CEO, directors, big managers. They can be able to say, I don't want probation. You can see my record. I am able to do my job, so I do not want probation. So they reduce the risk of being fired while in probation. The other thing that you could be able to do is reduce the time requirement for probation. So say, I'm going to have probation of 2 weeks, not 2 months, not 3 months. I'm going to have 3 weeks. So negotiate as part of your negotiation because things can go sour and they can go bad. If you have a long probation and they have a long period of time, in which case somebody can wake up in the wrong side of the bed and decide to terminate your employment. Ensure that you secure your finances, secure yourself, and you continue remaining employable. That is the other thing. Continue remaining employable. Increase as many skills as you can. Go to educate yourself as much as you can. Do as many courses as you can. Expose yourself to many experiences as you can. So you are a multifaceted individual with multi qualifications, so that when the eventual firing happens while you're in preparation, you can easily jump to another job, you can easily get another employment, and you can move even to an experience that is not what you were doing with the previous employer. For example, if you are accountant, why are you dabbling in accounting as you are doing things like audit? Were you still also doing certain audits in certain branches? So you have an additional skills as opposed to just accounting and reporting. You now have audit experience. It makes you more employable and can be able to jump ship. So the ship that you are in decides to sink. Think about such opportunities that can be able to increase your ability to be able to jump ship. Don't be the proverbial frog that was in water that was boiling in a pot. The water is coming hot, is becoming hot, is becoming hot, but the frog does not realize that it is becoming dangerous. It is enjoying the warm bath, but it is becoming a little bit